Hello, everyone. I'm Mike from accountingdepartment.com, and I'm joined with Luke, Business Development Representative from Accounting Department as well. Luke is here with us today, and he's going to be talking about some of the experiences that he has had with CEOs and entrepreneurs that come to accountingdepartment.com for improving their accounting services and basically taking advantage of all that we have to offer here. So, Luke, tell me some of the common issues that you see people have when they come to accountingdepartment.com initially.
Okay, absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me be here today, Mike. Some of the more common things that we see, number one, would be companies are growing and they have a bookkeeper in-house. The managers, the owners, they know what they know. Unfortunately, they don't know what they don't know. And maybe they've taken accounting in college or something. So they hire a bookkeeper. And the bookkeeper is getting busy as they're scaling. They turn around and say, "Hey, I need help." So the manager turns around and says, "Okay, hire someone else." And 2 or 3 years later, all of a sudden, you find out you've got 3 or 4 people in your accounting department, and you don't know what they're doing. So efficiencies aren't necessarily there. Another issue is qualifications. They're just incompetence. It's just the marketplace is inundated with people thinking that they're a bookkeeper. Hence, we get thousands of resumes posted to our website every single year. But more importantly, what we do in order for us to talk to some of these people, to scan, to sift through those, we put out a test. It's a 4-hour test, actually. And people need to take that 4-hour test before we will even talk to them about their bookkeeping. We test hundreds of people each year, and over 90% of the people who take the test fail it. Again, that gives you an idea of what's out in the marketplace. Unfortunately, business owners don't have the ability to sift through and scan these people to see if they're qualified, because they don't know themselves. So and then what happens is they want to get their books closed. They want to use their financials to run their business, and they just can't get it. They talk to me often at shows I go to conferences. They want to get a report from the bookkeeper. They say it's like pulling teeth. The way that we look at it is we turn that 180 degrees. We're going to push the information to you. We're not going to, if you have a meeting on a Monday afternoon and you want to review a specific report, well, tell us, because on Friday when we're done for the day, we're going to push that report to you so that you're ready to go for your Monday afternoon. So it's that forward thinking. There's some other reasons for it too. Unfortunately, there's a tremendous amount of theft that's involved. If you were to pay attention, I've been in this industry since 2001, but if you were to pay attention, what I mean by that is look at the news, look at the newspapers, you will see almost on a weekly basis, there's embezzlement somewhere in some company. And it's just, unfortunately, it's a true thing. There's theft. I mean, I've sat across from a business owner, actually there's 3 gentlemen own a construction company, and they were actually in tears because it was a family member who stole from them. What's the issue there? You don't have a separation of duties. So what we're bringing to the table is also that separation of duties, where we're going to do the work, set up the AP, but we are not going to be able to release any of the money. But we'll also be able to give them the financials they need to run their business on a timely basis. Another reason is, the owner has multiple companies. Maybe they own the building that they work in, or maybe they have 2 different lines of business. So there's multiple files involved. And it's the qualifications of the people doing the work can't handle that, so they come to us where we'll be able to also take that over, especially now that we're in the NetSuite field offering NetSuite services. So that's a few reasons there, Mike.
Okay, thanks. So what would you say the top reason is that you find that clients reach out to us? The number one takes the cake. You hear it the most over the phone.
They can't find qualified help. It's just not there. Yeah.
Okay.
Another big reason that's becoming large and big reason in the past year is a lot of startups are coming to us. They're funded startups. And these are business owners that have venture capitalists. They want accurate outside, they love the idea of having a third party doing this work. So when they get their numbers, they're real and true. But also some of these startups want to do things right from the get-go. They don't want to build a team and then realize they're not going to be able to grow and scale with them. And that's another reason companies come to us, is our scalability. We're going to take them from 2 million to 5 to 10 to 20 to $100 million in revenue without that much more work, because of the way that we've set up the processes and procedures and automated everything using technology.
Right. Yeah. And that's definitely, I mean, you save a lot when you're not having to hire and expand your in-person accounting department. Whereas,
Turnover. Yep,
exactly, and having
absolutely.
the opportunity to have a company handle it for you, that when we basically have an infinite scalability for a company,
Right.
it really opens up the options and cost savings and growth opportunity altogether. Um,
Correct.
so then you also handle a lot of the government contract clients. Tell us a little bit about that whole process.
Absolutely. If anyone out there has ever dealt with government contracts, you realize there's a lot that's involved. There's two types of contractors for the most part. There's a prime, which is the company that has the contract directly with the government, and there's a subcontractor, and that's usually a smaller company that is working with the prime. They don't work necessarily directly with the government. So quite often we'll have subcontractors come to us. Again, they're working with a major corporation because they have a set aside, it's called, for some work that they're going to do for them. And they get really good at providing their services or widgets or what it is that they're doing. And they see opportunity to work directly with the government. The issue here is they need to be what's called DCAA compliant, Defense Contract Audit Agency compliant. It's from the Department of Defense is what it originates from, but most government agencies follow those rules. So that's a whole new ballpark. We have a situation with commercial clients. We can do hundreds of invoices in about an hour and a half and get them out using technology. You know, one invoice for a government contractor could take 10 hours. And then you have to upload it to the government portal. So long story short, these subcontractors want to bid on these prime contracts directly with the government, but they're not compliant. So they look to us, and we have many success stories with this, where the contractors came to us. They did not have to be DCAA compliant for the business that they're doing now, but they wanted to become that so they could go ahead and bid. And when they join us, that's exactly what we do. We have a part of our services. We have a department here, accountingdepartment.com, that focus directly and specifically on government contracting. And we are able to get them into their what's called an SF 1408, which is a pre-award survey for your accounting systems to prove that you are compliant and you're able to follow, do your books in a compliant manner. Now, one of the issues with the Defense Contractor Audit Agency is technology. There's a company out there, a couple of companies out there that have been doing this in the marketplace, and they sell a software to do this. These companies have done a fantastic job convincing the marketplace that you have to use their software to be compliant. And that's not true, because it's not the software that makes you compliant. It's the processes and the procedures that make you compliant. So we are able to do that with QuickBooks, and I also are able to do it with NetSuite. So there's a dramatic cost savings as far as the licensing is concerned with the software. So.
Okay, great, awesome. So from anything, if a CEO is watching, so entrepreneur, business owner, and there was one thing that you had to tell them if they're, kind of on the fence of considering moving to an outsourced accounting provider or staying in-house and growing an in-house department, what would it be?
Perform your due diligence. There's no doubt. There's plenty of options that are out there. We understand and we realize we're an option. Okay, I happen to know that we're the best, but that's I'm a little biased, right? But it's
Yes,
true.
yes.
We'll afford you the opportunity to take a close look. We're not going to sell you anything. You're going to want this, because if you don't, then we're probably going to tell you first, because we know it's not a good match. We're going to make sure it's a good match first. Understand how you're doing what you do, see if we can, if we're a good fit, and then go through the process of scoping out what that work would be before we even offer you a proposal for services. So there's a lot to go through, but we want you to check out the other companies. Now, some of them outsource overseas. Some of them use very cheap labor. It's not our market. There's a market for that. Some companies use a traveling bookkeeper. Wonderful. That's not our market. We're a much higher end than what that is, and that's okay. We know we're not for everyone, but if you're looking to scale, it's worth taking your time to take a closer look. And we do that with a Zoom meeting and go through a little more question and answer period to understand what your needs are further from there. Okay.
Right. Okay. So yeah, definitely doing the research is the first step into
Absolutely.
finding the
Yep.
right company, and making sure ultimately it's the life of your company that relies on it. So you definitely want to do
I
your
agree.
research and make sure it's all checks off all the boxes. Okay. So Luke, thank you for taking the time to meet with me today, and thank you for all the information you provided. If anybody is looking for more information, head to accountingdepartment.com, reach out to us via the contact us form, and we will be in contact with you to see if we'd be a good fit for each other.
We'll set up a get to know you meeting first and foremost. There's a reason why we've been recognized as the number 14th best company culture in the United States by Entrepreneur Magazine, because we're pretty friendly. It's a cool place to work.
Definitely.
Nice to meet everybody.
Definitely is.
Take care.
Thank you.